important man, George. Then you always said you'd make something of yourself.
In this gripping narrative, Richard Kimball, a respected doctor, returns home to an unimaginable horror. His wife has been brutally murdered. The scene is chaotic, and amidst the confusion, he spots a one-armed man fleeing the scene. Despite his eyewitness account, law enforcement dismisses his claims, leading to a swift and unjust arrest. The justice system, set on finding a quick resolution, convicts him based on circumstantial evidence. Sentenced to death, Kimball's life takes a dark turn as he escapes during a prison transfer, determined to prove his innocence and find the real killer. As he navigates a dangerous world while being pursued relentlessly by the tenacious U.S. Marshal, he becomes more aware of the flaws in the case against him. The focus on the one-armed man raises questions about his true involvement in the crime. Kimball's character is driven not just by a quest for freedom, but by the need to unravel the mysteries surrounding his wife's murder. An investigation into the one-armed man's whereabouts and actions reveals critical inconsistencies that cast doubt on Kimball's guilty tenet. The evidence suggests that the man was likely not the primary perpetrator, but a mere bystander in a complex web of deceit, challenging the narrative constructed by the justice system.
In every bill, right in one of the eyes.
While being transferred from sentencing to prison, Dr. Richard Kimball found himself in a life-changing situation. The train carrying him and other prisoners met with a terrible accident, resulting in a wreck that allowed him to escape. This unexpected turn of events gave him a glimmer of hope. Kimball was determined to find the one-armed man who he believed was responsible for the murder of his wife. He knew that if he could locate this man, he could prove his innocence and clear his name. However, the world saw him differently. To the law, he was a dangerous escapee, a convict on the run. This perception made his quest even more challenging. As he navigated through various towns and cities, he had to stay one step ahead of the authorities who were relentlessly pursuing him. Each encounter brought new risks, but Kimball remained focused on his goal. He was not just running from the law, he was running toward the truth, hoping to find justice for himself and honor the memory of his wife. The journey was fraught with danger, but his resolve never wavered. He was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost.
Time, and you have to carry them and feed them and stay up all night.
Every law enforcement agency was on high alert, searching for Dr. Richard Kimball, the main character of the series The Fugitive. This relentless pursuit was led by a determined police lieutenant, who dedicated his time to tracking Kimball down as if he were a wild animal. The lieutenant's obsession with capturing Kimball added a layer of tension to the show, as viewers watched the cat and mouse game unfold. Dr. Richard Kimball, portrayed by David Janssen, was the central figure in all 120 episodes. His character was a respected surgeon wrongfully accused of murdering his wife. The audience followed his journey as he sought to prove his innocence while evading capture. The emotional depth of Kimball's character resonated with viewers, as he faced numerous challenges and moral dilemmas. Alongside Kimball and the relentless lieutenant, the series introduced other key characters who played significant roles in the unfolding drama. Each episode presented new obstacles and encounters, keeping the audience engaged in the gripping narrative of pursuit and survival. The dynamic between Kimball and law enforcement highlighted themes of justice, desperation, and the quest for truth, making The Fugitive a memorable and impactful series.
We were just sitting there fishing, and something started pulling out my pole. Then Mr. Jackson started yelling.
It has been often thought that the series The Fugitive was based on the story of Sam Shepard. Sam Shepard was a prominent neurosurgeon in Ohio who faced a tragic turn of events in the 1950s. He was accused of murdering his wife, Marilyn Shepard, a crime that shocked the community and garnered significant media attention. The case against him was built on circumstantial evidence, and during the first trial, he was convicted and sentenced to prison. However, the story took a dramatic turn when new evidence emerged, leading to a second trial. In this retrial, the jury found him not guilty, and he was acquitted of all charges. This real-life saga of a man wrongfully accused and his quest for justice resonates with the themes of The Fugitive, where the main character, Dr. Richard Kimball, is also wrongfully convicted of his wife's murder and goes on the run to find the real killer. The parallels between Sam Shepard's life and the narrative of The Fugitive highlight the complexities of the justice system and the struggles of those who fight to clear their names. The series captivated audiences with its intense storytelling and moral dilemmas, reflecting the real-life drama that unfolded in Shepard's case. The connection between the two stories continues to intrigue viewers and scholars alike as they explore the impact of wrongful accusations and the pursuit of truth.
Get up. We'll do everything we can to help you, but actually it could have been almost anyone. Some enemy of the man who ran off, another tramp.
After his acquittal, Sam Shepard faced a life filled with challenges and loss. He had lost everything he once held dear, including his medical practices and medical license. This drastic change in his life led him down a difficult path. At one point, he even decided to wrestle for a living, a choice that reflected his desperation and the need to survive. His story bears some resemblance to the themes explored in the television series The Fugitive. The show, which aired in 1963, revolves around a man wrongfully accused of a crime, much like Shepard's own struggles after his legal battles. While there are parallels between his life and the show, Shepard consistently stated that his experiences were not the inspiration for the series. The producers may have drawn from various real-life stories, but Shepard's journey was uniquely his own. His early death marked the end of a tumultuous life, leaving behind a narrative that resonates with the essence of seeking justice and redemption. Dr. Richard Kimball was a respected pediatrician in the fictional town of Stafford, Indiana. He dedicated his life to caring for children and was well liked by his patients and their families. His life took a dramatic turn when he was wrongfully accused of murdering his wife Helen. This accusation forced him to flee, leading him on a journey filled with danger and uncertainty. As he went on the run, Kimball displayed remarkable intelligence and resourcefulness. He often found himself in situations where he had to adapt quickly to survive. Whether it was taking on odd jobs or using his medical skills to help those in need, he managed to navigate the challenges of being a fugitive. His background as a doctor not only provided him with the knowledge to help others, but also gave him the ability to think critically under pressure. Throughout his journey, Kimball remained determined to prove his innocence while evading the relentless pursuit of law enforcement, particularly the tenacious detective Lieutenant Philip Gerard. His character embodied resilience and the quest for justice, making him a compelling figure in the series. The struggles he faced highlighted the themes of survival and the search for truth, resonating with viewers who followed his harrowing story.
Put him in the back room. I thought they'd go to sleep.
After the train wreck and his escape from custody, the main character finds himself living a life on the run. He moves from town to town, always looking over his shoulder, trying to blend in and remain unnoticed. Each new place offers a chance to hide, but it also brings new challenges. He must be careful not to draw attention to himself, as law enforcement is always on the lookout for him. His heart is heavy with the burden of being a fugitive, but his mind is focused on one goal: finding the one-armed man who committed the crime he was wrongfully accused of. As he travels, he encounters various people, some who are kind and others who are suspicious. He learns to adapt quickly, changing his appearance and using different names to avoid detection. The fear of being caught is a constant companion, but so is the hope of clearing his name. Each town holds the possibility of a clue or a lead that could bring him closer to the man he seeks. The journey is fraught with danger, but it is also filled with moments of humanity and connection. He finds allies in unexpected places, and these brief encounters remind him of the life he once had. Despite the loneliness and uncertainty, he remains determined. The search for the one-armed man drives him forward, fueling his resolve to prove his innocence. He knows that time is not on his side, and with every passing day, the risk of capture grows. Yet, he continues to push through the fear, driven by the hope that one day he will find justice. The road ahead is long and winding, but he is committed to uncovering the truth, no matter the cost.
Promise me you'll finish that hospital.
Hospital?
In the TV series The Fugitive, a frequent plot device involves characters discovering Dr. Richard Kimball's true identity. This revelation often leads to manipulation, as these characters threaten to turn him into the police. Dr. Kimball, wrongfully accused of murdering his wife, is constantly on the run, trying to prove his innocence while evading capture. The relentless pursuit is led by Stafford Police Detective Lieutenant Philip Gerard, portrayed by Barry Morris. Gerard is a formidable and intelligent family man dedicated to his role as a public servant. His character adds depth to the series, as he is not just a simple antagonist, but a man committed to his duty. He appears in 37 episodes, and is featured in the main title sequence of all 120 episodes, highlighting his importance to the storyline. His presence in the closing credits of every episode further emphasizes his role in the series, making him a memorable character in the narrative of The Fugitive. The dynamic between Kimball and Gerard creates tension and intrigue, driving the plot forward as viewers become invested in Kimball's quest for justice and Gerard's unwavering determination to uphold the law. Gerard's motivation to capture Kimball is deeply rooted in his sense of duty. He is relentless in his pursuit, driven by the belief that it is his responsibility to bring Kimball to justice, regardless of the man's guilt or innocence. This unwavering commitment to his role as a lawman often overshadows any personal feelings he might have about the case. Gerard's character embodies the idea of justice as a duty, making him a complex figure in the narrative. The one-armed man, portrayed by Bill Raitt, adds an intriguing layer to the story. He is a mysterious character, first seen fleeing from Kimball's house right after the crime occurs. His presence looms large over the series, as he is the catalyst for Kimball's wrongful accusation. Despite his significant role in the plot, the show reveals very little about the one-armed man's background. Viewers are left to wonder how he lost his right arm, and what his life was like before the events of the series. This lack of detail creates an air of mystery around him, making him a shadowy figure whose motivations and history remain largely unexplored. The interplay between Gerard's relentless pursuit and the enigmatic nature of the one-armed man drives the tension throughout the series, keeping audiences engaged and invested in the unfolding drama.
It'll take us about 2 hours to get there.
When the iconic TV series The Fugitive aired in 1963, it captivated audiences with its thrilling storyline and dramatic moments. One of the most memorable scenes in the show is the train crash that occurs during the transfer of Dr. Richard Kimball, the main character, from his sentencing to death row. Interestingly, the footage used for this dramatic train crash was not newly filmed for the series. Instead, the producers cleverly repurposed footage from a 1938 comedy film titled The Young and Hart, which starred Douglas Fairbanks Jr. This decision was likely influenced by the high costs associated with creating new locomotive crash scenes in Hollywood. By utilizing existing footage, the producers managed to save money while still delivering a visually impactful moment in the show. This creative approach highlights the resourcefulness of television production in the early 1960s, where budget constraints often led to innovative solutions. The use of this vintage footage not only added a layer of authenticity to the scene, but also connected the past with the present, showcasing how elements of earlier films could find new life in contemporary storytelling. The Fugitive remains a classic, in part due to such memorable moments that blend drama with clever production choices.
For the kill. Dick, we're almost there.
Roy Huggins created the series The Fugitive, which became a landmark in television history. Huggins, who also produced other notable shows like Maverick and The Rockford Files, crafted a narrative that was innovative for its time. He consistently denied that The Fugitive was inspired by the Sam Shepard story, emphasizing its originality. The show introduced a new way of storytelling in television, moving away from the traditional episodic format that characterized many earlier series. Instead of standalone episodes, The Fugitive featured an ongoing narrative that followed Dr. Richard Kimball, a man wrongfully accused of murder, as he sought to clear his name while being pursued by a determined detective. This format laid the groundwork for modern television dramas, where ongoing storylines and character development are now the norm. Today, it is rare to find dramas that follow the episodic structure of shows like The Twilight Zone or Star Trek. Huggins' vision and execution in The Fugitive not only captivated audiences, but also influenced the future of television storytelling.
Escape, she'll spend the next 10 years wishing she weren't.
What do you mean?
In the early 1960s, television viewing habits were quite different from what we see today. Back then, if someone missed an episode of a show, it was not as easy to catch up later. There were no recording devices or streaming services to rely on. This made the experience of watching a series like The Fugitive unique and engaging. The show, which aired from 1963 to 1967, was a groundbreaking drama that captivated audiences with its intense storytelling and compelling characters. Each week, viewers were drawn into the life of Dr. Richard Kimball, a man wrongfully accused of murder, as he sought to prove his innocence while being pursued by the relentless Lieutenant Gerard. The fugitive boldly asked, and in many ways demanded, that audiences tune in every single week. Missing an episode meant losing track of the intricate plot and character development. This created a sense of urgency and excitement among viewers who eagerly anticipated each new installment. The show's format encouraged discussions among friends and family as they would share their thoughts and theories about Kimball's fate and the ongoing chase. The suspense and drama kept viewers on the edge of their seats, making it a cultural phenomenon of its time. As a result, The Fugitive not only shaped viewing patterns, but also influenced how stories were told on television. The commitment required from the audience fostered a deeper connection to the characters and their journeys. This weekly ritual of watching and discussing the show became a shared experience, uniting fans in their quest to see justice served. The Fugitive's innovative approach to storytelling and its demand for consistent viewership set a precedent for future television dramas, making it a landmark series in the history of television.
This dock. 1875.
The Fugitive captivated audiences with its unique plot structure, presenting a different contained tale in each episode while weaving an ongoing narrative involving the one-armed man and Lieutenant Gerard. This combination kept viewers engaged and on the edge of their seats, eager to see how the story would unfold. The show's format was innovative for its time, as it balanced episodic storytelling with a larger, overarching plot. This approach was not without its challenges, as the network was initially skeptical about the concept. They questioned whether audiences would embrace a series that did not follow a traditional format. However, The Fugitive proved to be a groundbreaking success, paving the way for future shows that would adopt similar storytelling techniques. Its influence can be seen in later series like The X-Files, which also combined episodic elements with a larger narrative arc. The Fugitive's ability to maintain suspense and intrigue while exploring different stories each week set a new standard in television storytelling.
Bang! Full speed ahead! Ron, get below on the radar!
Nearly half of America watched the finale. After 4 years, Dr. Kimball finally confronts the one-armed man, high atop a carnival tower. A whopping 45.9% of the household tuned in to see the climax. This moment marked a significant point in television history, as it captivated audiences who had followed Dr. Richard Kimball's journey since the series began. The tension built over the years culminated in this dramatic showdown, making it a must-see event for viewers. The finale's viewership was remarkable, remaining the most watched episode until the 1980s. It was eventually surpassed by the Who Shot JR episode of Dallas, which also drew massive attention. The emotional weight of the finale resonated with fans, and it set a high standard for future television dramas. The impact of The Fugitive's finale is still felt today, as it paved the way for storytelling in television, influencing how series finales are crafted. The legacy of this episode continues to be a benchmark for measuring the success of television shows.
Let's you and me save ourselves some time, Douglas. What was it you thought you heard out there?
As brilliant and groundbreaking as the show was, it did recycle a good deal of stuff. The Fugitive, which aired in 1963, is often remembered for its innovative storytelling and compelling characters. However, it also drew on elements from other popular series of the time. One notable instance is the use of music. The show recycled a lot of its music from The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone, both of which were known for their distinctive soundtracks that enhanced the eerie and suspenseful atmosphere of their narratives. This practice of reusing musical scores was not uncommon in television during that era, as production budgets often limited the ability to create entirely new compositions for every show. Additionally, the series featured a memorable train wreck scene that became iconic. This moment, while thrilling, was not entirely original, and echoed similar dramatic moments found in other television dramas. The reuse of such elements highlights a trend in early television where shows often borrowed from one another, creating a shared language of storytelling that audiences could recognize. Despite these recycled elements, The Fugitive managed to stand out due to its unique premise and the depth of its characters, making it a classic in television history.
You know how it feels.
The background of Dr. Richard Kimball, the main character in the 1963 television series The Fugitive, underwent a significant change after the show had aired. Initially, the story was set in Wisconsin, which was portrayed as Kimball's home state. This setting was chosen to give a sense of familiarity and authenticity to the character's background. However, as the series progressed, the writers and producers realized that Wisconsin did not have the death penalty, which posed a problem for the narrative. The premise of the show revolved around Dr. Kimball being wrongfully convicted of murdering his wife, and subsequently escaping from custody to find the real killer. To maintain the dramatic tension and the stakes involved in Kimball's quest for justice, the setting was shifted to Indiana. This change allowed the storyline to align better with the legal realities of capital punishment, enhancing the urgency of Kimball's situation. The move to Indiana not only provided a more fitting backdrop for the story, but also allowed for a richer exploration of the themes of justice and redemption. The series became a classic, with its gripping plot and the moral dilemmas faced by its characters resonating with audiences. The evolution of Dr. Kimball's background reflects the show's adaptability and the creative decisions made to ensure its success.
Take it easy. Come on, I'll get you up.
Thanks.
Hey, Lynn.
In the first season of The Fugitive, there is a notable continuity error regarding the main character's location. He is said to be living in Beloit, Wisconsin, but this detail was never corrected throughout the series. This oversight did not detract from the show's popularity, as it captivated audiences with its thrilling narrative and compelling characters. As viewers watch the series, they may notice a variety of guest appearances by actors who would later become well-known. Among them are DeForest Kelley and William Shatner, both of whom would gain fame in the Star Trek franchise. Charles Bronson, known for his tough guy roles, also makes an appearance, along with Ron Howard, who would later become a celebrated director. Kurt Russell, Leslie Nielsen, Suzanne Pleshette, and Ted Knight are just a few more familiar faces that pop up throughout the episodes. These guest stars added a unique charm to the show, showcasing a range of talent that would go on to shape the television and film industry. The mix of established and emerging actors contributed to the rich tapestry of The Fugitive, making it a memorable series for its time.
Fit called Fair Play Construction is handling the job.
Fair play.
In the 29th episode of the first season, titled Storm Center, a significant revelation unfolds regarding the death of Helen Kimball. The episode dives into the details surrounding her tragic demise, which is determined to be a result of strangulation. This detail raises eyebrows, especially considering the circumstances surrounding the one-armed man, who has been a central figure in the series. The method of strangulation is not typically associated with someone who has only one arm, leading to a critical examination of the evidence. The show expertly builds tension as it explores the implications of this revelation. Viewers are left questioning the likelihood of the one-armed man being the actual culprit. The narrative cleverly plays with the audience's expectations, creating a sense of intrigue and suspense. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that the investigation into Helen's death is far more complex than it initially appears. The episode captures the essence of mystery and drama that The Fugitive is known for, keeping audiences engaged and eager for answers. The exploration of Helen's death not only serves as a pivotal moment in the series, but also deepens the overarching narrative of Richard Kimball's quest for justice and truth. The episode stands out as a compelling piece of storytelling, showcasing the show's ability to weave intricate plots, while maintaining a focus on character development and emotional depth.
Well, I'm in sort of a hurry, sister.
A man in a hurry would walk across this desert when he has a chance to...
In the series The Fugitive, Helen Kimball, Dr. Kimball's wife, is portrayed through flashbacks in two significant episodes. The first appearance is in Season 1, titled The Girl from Little Egypt, where her character plays a crucial role in revealing the emotional depth of Dr. Richard Kimball's life before he became a fugitive. The second instance occurs in Season 4, in an episode called The Judgment, where her presence is felt, but she is uncredited. This portrayal adds layers to the narrative, allowing viewers to understand the stakes involved in Dr. Kimball's quest for justice and truth. Dan Brewster, who played Helen Kimball, also contributed to the series in a unique way. His voice is heard in a recorded message of Helen, which appears in Season 2, further connecting the character to the storyline, even when she is not physically present. Brewster's versatility is also evident in his role as Miss Canfield, the second-grade teacher in the classic show Leave It to Beaver. This connection between the two series showcases Brewster's talent and the impact of his performances on television during that era. The emotional resonance of Helen's character, combined with Brewster's contributions, enriches the narrative of The Fugitive, making it a memorable part of television history.
Sometimes he walks for hours. Then he comes back with some goodies for lunch.
Yeah, I'll help you, Carl.
Oh, no.
William Conrad narrated the show with a deep, serious voice that captivated audiences and kept them on the edges of their seats. His narration added a unique layer of intensity to the series, making each episode feel more dramatic and engaging. The final 2 episodes of the Fugitive TV show are often regarded as one of the most satisfying conclusions in television history. For viewers who followed the story of Dr. Richard Kimball through the first 118 episodes, the finale was not just a conclusion but a heartfelt reunion. Fans had grown to feel a deep connection with Kimball, almost as if he were a close friend. The emotional weight of the story culminated in these last episodes, where the truth about his innocence was finally revealed. This resolution brought a sense of closure, not only to Kimball, but also to the audience who had invested so much time and emotion into his journey. The combination of Conrad's powerful narration and the poignant storytelling made the ending of The Fugitive a memorable experience for all who watched.
What was the name of that doctor you pulled out and showed me? Kimball, right? You want to get...
Each week, viewers of The Fugitive found themselves deeply invested in the plight of Dr. Richard Kimball. Once a successful and respected physician, Kimball's life took a tragic turn when he was wrongfully accused of murdering his wife. The series captured the intense struggle of a man who was not only fighting for his freedom, but also for his very life. As he evaded capture, the audience felt his desperation and fear. They agonized over his terrible situation, rooting for him to find the one-armed man who was the true killer. The emotional weight of Kimball's journey resonated with fans, who became increasingly anxious for him to prove his innocence. Each episode left them on the edge of their seats, wondering if this would be the week he would finally catch the elusive one-armed man. The tension built as Kimball faced numerous obstacles, including relentless law enforcement and the constant threat of being caught. Viewers were not just passive observers, they were emotionally engaged, feeling the pain of Kimball's loss and the injustice he faced. The series masterfully portrayed his struggle, making the audience yearn for his vindication. As the weeks turned into months, the desire for resolution grew stronger, almost to the point of physical discomfort. Fans wanted nothing more than to see Kimball triumph over the odds and reclaim his life, making The Fugitive a powerful exploration of innocence, justice, and the human spirit. During the final 2 episodes of The Fugitive, viewers experienced one of the most exciting and dramatic finales ever seen on television. The tension built up over the series culminated in a gripping showdown between Dr. Richard Kimball and the relentless pursuit of Detective Lieutenant Philip Gerard. As Kimball, wrongfully accused of his wife's murder, sought to clear his name, the stakes reached an all-time high. The narrative expertly wove together suspense and emotion, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats. In these final moments, Kimball's journey took unexpected turns, revealing the depth of his character and the lengths he would go to find justice. The series masterfully balanced action with poignant moments, showcasing Kimball's struggles and the moral dilemmas he faced. The resolution of the story was not just about Kimball's fate, but also about the themes of truth, justice, and redemption. The finale left a lasting impact, solidifying The Fugitive's place in television history as a landmark series that captivated audiences with its thrilling storytelling and unforgettable characters.
He knows that too. But once he stops